Hi everyone, my name is Defs from Moral World. Here with me in the studio is Henry, a researcher and psychologist. Hi everyone. Today we will be discussing on the speculations and conclusion of some researchers in the world on the cause of the pandemic coronavirus. As we've all known that this virus has claimed thousands of human/animals' lives ever since it started, and thousands are on isolations. The question that people are searching for its answers is, was this pandemic coronavirus invented by some scientist, and what's their aims for doing that? Henry, you are a professional researcher and a psychologist. Tell us your own views on this. Thank you, Defs, for this opportunity. Let me start by listing out how the whole scenario started. Scene 1. The curtain opens, China becomes ill, enters a crisis, and paralyzes its trade. The curtain closes. Scene 2. The curtain opens, the Chinese currency is devalued. They do not do anything. The curtain closes. Scene 3. The curtain opens, due to the lack of trade of companies from Europe and the USA that are based in China, their shares fall 40% of their value. Scene 4. The curtain opens, the world is ill, China buys 30% of the shares of companies in Europe and the US at a very low price. The curtain closes. Scene 5. The curtain opens, China has controlled the disease and owns companies in Europe and the US. And he decides that these companies stay in China and earn $20,000 billions. The curtain closes. How is the play called? Scene 6, checkmate. But did you have substantial evidences on this? Comment Defs. I'm fully loaded to buttress my points. Real amazing but true, Defs. 2 videos have passed few days back that convinced me of something I suspected, but had no basis. It was just my speculation. Now I am convinced that the coronavirus was purposely propagated by the Chinese themselves. At first they were too prepared. 3 weeks after the start of the roll, 14 days and a 12,000-bed hospitals were already under construction. And they really built them in 2 weeks. Awesome. Okay. Last month they announced that they had stopped the epidemic. They appear in videos celebrating. They announced that they even have a vaccine. How could they create it so quickly without having all the genetic information? Well, if you are the owner of the formula, it is not difficult at all. And today I just saw a video that explains how Deng Xiaoping gave the West a half stick. Due to the coronavirus, the actions of Western companies in China fell dramatically. China, I just hope, when they went down enough they bought them. Now the companies, created by the USA and Europe and China with all the technology put in by these exchanges and their capital, they passed into the hands of China, which is now rising with all the technological potential and will be able to set prices at will to sell everything they need to the West. But how could they afford to lose some of their citizens to the war intentionally? Ha 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 ha. None of this could have happened by chance. China, who cared that a few old men died? Fewer old age pensions to pay, but the loot has been huge. And right now the West is financially defeated, in crisis and stunned by the disease. And without knowing what to do. Masterfully diabolic. It had to be the communists. Adding to this, they are now the single largest owners of U.S. Treasury with $1.18 trillion holdings, surpassing Japan. An instrument that has seen the most rally. Okay, let me ask you, Defs. How come Russia and North Korea have low or zero incidence of COVID-19? Is it because they are staunch allies of China? On the other hand, USA, South Korea, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain and Asia are severely hit. How come Wuhan is suddenly free from the deadly virus? How? Explain. China says that the drastic initial measures that they took were very stern and Wuhan was locked down to contain the spread to other areas. But why Beijing was not hit? Why only Wuhan? It is interesting to ponder upon. Right? Well, Wuhan is open for business now. COVID-19 needs to be seen in the backdrop of the arm twisting of China by USA in the trade war. America and all the above-mentioned countries are devastated financially soon. American economy will collapse as planned by China. See, let me tell you something, Defs. China knows it cannot defeat America militarily, as USA is at present the most powerful country in the world. So use the virus to cripple the economy and paralyze the nation and its defense capabilities. Trump was initially downplaying the effects of coronavirus, calling it a Democratic hoax, blaming Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. He was basically unprepared. Weeks went by and he couldn't even assemble the world's best. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, previously having been decimated by Trump, was left napping and unprepared as well. Nobody had any game plan, one of the few times America operated from ad hoc mode. Lately, President Trump has always been telling of how the great American economy was improving on all fronts and jobs were coming back to the USA. The only way to destroy his vision of making America great again is to create an economic havoc. But he forgot his vulnerability, wellness. Wuhan's epidemic was a showcase. At the peak of the virus epidemic, China's President Xi Jinping just wore a simple RM1 face mask to visit those affected areas. Interesting. Please move on, Henry. As a president, he should have been covered from head to toe, right? But that was not the case. He was already injected to resist any harm from the virus. That means a cure was already in place before the virus was released. China's vision is to control the world economy by buying up stocks now from countries facing the brink of severe economic collapse. Later, China will announce that their medical researchers have found a cure to destroy the virus. No, China shall own the stocks of all Western alliances, and these countries will soon be slaves to their new master, China. But Henry, don't you think it's high time American president put the right peg in the right hole? By accepting the defeat. That's it, daffs. President Donald Trump needs to surrender and request for the vaccines before it claims the lives of their future ones and set politics apart. Thank you so much for your time, Henry. We really appreciate your kind gesture. Indeed, you are a special one. Anything for daff's morals. Thank you once again and do have a prosperous day ahead.